Okay, welcome everybody. We will get started here in just a minute. I just need to get a few things set up really quickly, so I'll be right back. Hey there, Gabriel Ivan. Hello, experienced gamer. Okay, here we go. So where we left off last time, we were just starting to build the UI, and one of the things I thought about here is that the UI in Earthbound, sorry, forgot my words there for a second, doesn't have actual bars. Instead it's all a list of menus. So I made a new player UI scene, and I just did this, like, I don't know, in 5 minutes yesterday. I added a 9-patch rect. That way I can have a general piece of art here that I call my frame, and it's just a square frame, but the 9-patch rect allows me to define areas along which it's going to resize itself. So if I grab this, I can resize it, and it'll stay kind of nicely looking pixelated, and with that nice border, it won't look stretched at all. And then I have a vertical box container and these labels that I just called test. I haven't even looked at Earthbound's UI in the last couple days to see exactly what the options are in Earthbound, but I added that scene as a canvas layer to the player scene. So now if we hit play, you'll see it's there. And I added a super quick controller so that if you press escape it turns on, and if you press escape it turns off. So that's all that we're doing so far. Experienced Gamer says, sorry I won't be able to watch the things I have to go right now, but as soon as I come home. Nice. Thanks very much, Experienced Gamer. I'm glad. Enjoy your day. Alright, so I don't want to do too much with the player UI right now. What I'd rather do first is take a look at setting up the environment. And there's a few different ways that we can do the environment. I really like using Tiled, which is a free map editor that you can get at mapeditor.org or itch.io. If you just search for Tiled, it's the first result that comes up. I think Tiled is really easy to understand and simple to use, but Godot has its own built-in tile map system that has gotten quite a huge revision for 3.1, and it's only fair that I take a look at that too. So, I'm going to create a new 2D scene, and I'm going to call this area around home. How about? And as a child of this, I'm going to add a new tile map, and I'm going to have a few different tile maps, I think. I'm going to call this one base, and I'll make another one that I'll call mid, and I'll add another one that I'll call 4. So maybe I'll rename this one from base to back. There we go. Alright, now all 3 of these are going to need to have similar settings. So they should be square. The cell size should be 16. Nope, not 3. 16 by 16. That looks better. And let's make a new tile set. And in our tile set here is where we're actually going to start using some of the newer tools, the way that you can make a single tile on an auto tile. The way Godot used to do tile maps was confusing and a ton of work, in my opinion. It's similar to how you have to do grid maps now. So hopefully grid maps gets the same love that the tile maps have gotten in 3.1. But anyway, let's take a look at our tile set. So we're gonna add a new tile set that we're gonna grab from the art folder, from tile set, and pixel pack top down. Now again, I have, pardon me, I have a link to these assets in the description. I also have a link to a free version of assets that are similar to this. So, I mean, if you don't want to spend, I think this is like even $3. If you don't want to spend the $3, totally get it. You can find a free version of this there. So what I want to do first is I want to work with setting up the very base of everything. Actually, let's not do the base just yet. Let's do like a little bit of a frame around the player's house. So to do that, we're going to need to define an inside and an outside. So looking here, all right, I'm going to grab a new auto tile. We're going to go by region. I'm going to turn on snapping, and there are some properties we're going to have to set up on this. So snap options, we want to step by 16. By 16. Welcome, Game Endeavor, how are you? I'm going to grab here. Actually, I'm going to grab more than that. I'm going to grab, let's make this bigger. I'm going to grab from here all the way down to there. That way I can have the inside and the outside. And we'll do a bit mask in order for this to tile properly. Bit mask, ooh, that is too big. Can I set the bit mask settings? Normal, texture, modulate. Auto tile bit mask mode. Subtile size, we'll do 8x8. I think that'll make the bit mask the size I want it to be. Nope, that makes the bit mask too small. So this should be 16x16. There we go. So essentially I'm drawing what's inside here. I'm not too bad. A little tired this morning, but it'll all be okay. And then over here we'll do, no, I shouldn't do that. I should do this, I think. So it's the inside here and it's the outside there. And this is my first tile, so I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. So if I go back here, I should be able to, okay, so that almost worked. So I did something wrong there. What did I do wrong now? Let's go look at our tile set. And okay. Did I grab the wrong outside maybe? So I think I grabbed the right inside. If I delete that and then go back to my area here, let's just delete our tiles and try to make just a regular square area. Let's see what it does. Or not square, rectangle-ish. Yeah, it still makes something weird. Oh yeah, and I need to re-import the tile set. So import, no filter, re-import. That looks better. Okay, so where is it getting these tiles from? It's not consistent though, is the thing. So like, I wonder if I save this scene. I'm gonna call this areas, save. And if I close it and then come back to it, what happens? Yep, still there. So let's look at our scene again here. It's relatively consistent as far as where that shows up. So It's almost certainly an issue with me. Let's do... region. Let's reset this to be just that, and then let's do the bit mask so that we're not doing too huge of a region. And then maybe I might have to chop this map up a bit in Sprite to make it work the way I want it to. So if I go back in here and I just do a rectangular area again. Oh wow, that's worse. Game Endeavor says it's acting as though you have two of the same bit masks on different tiles. I don't think I did because I just created this one, but just in case, I've been wrong before. Since I haven't really done any work on this, let's just trash that. Create a new one from Pixel Pack top down. Let's make a new auto tile. Let's start with something simpler, I guess. Let's do this one, bit mask. And let's go around like this. And that's the outside is there. And this is outside inside for that. Outside inside for that. I wonder if there's an inside. I guess not. So if I go to... Okay, so that's working just fine. Yeah, I think it's odd too. Oh, because it doesn't know the inside, that's why. That's why I can't do that. So I can do rectangular areas of this, so I'm just gonna do that right now. There. So we'll do a rectangular area there. Let's go a little bit farther down. And let's do a little bit of a break and then maybe another rectangular area over here. So we got that. Okay. Now if I go back to my tile set here, I wanna play around with this just a little bit more. Okay, so it looks like this is the dungeon section. This is the house section. This is the kind of like outside barrier section. And then this is all the grass stuff. So let's make a couple new single tiles here for the trees. So let's do this. Yeah. And we'll add collision to it. And then we'll do another new single tile. That's this with collision there as well. And yeah, let's see how we can do with that. So if I go back to mid here, oh, I want to save the tile set as a resource. So we're going to call this tile set. And then there we go. Mid is what I wanted that to be on, and then this is going to load from source areas tile set. That's better. Oh, I see. That has that like area around it. Huh. Okay. So let's get rid of that. I can do this kind of thing. Right now I'm just playing around. Sorry if I'm being boring for you guys. I haven't done too much with Godot's tile map settings. Let's see, we've got some hellos. Kelly Sampson says hi y'all. Hello Kelly Sampson, how are you? And FC Barca, I think I pronounced that correctly, says hello Encore. Hello, how are you? Alright, so let's go back and look at our tile set a little bit more here. So it looks like they have like a little branching segment. So let's go to, oh no, I didn't want to do that. How can I look at the tiles I've already made? Because I made an auto tile out of this. So if I go to the here and here. Anthropomorph, hello, how are you? A little late. Oh no, you're not late at all. I was late starting, so you're fine. Game Endeavor isn't the dude with the angry teddy bear videos? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I got a job after studying your video. Wow, that's awesome. Good job for you. That's the best way I've ever heard pawbearer described. Pawbearer described. Cool. Your videos. Awesome. Cool. Game Endeavor, I'll have to check out your channel. Apparently I'm not very knowledgeable about stuff. Alright, so now how do I choose the tile I've already made? I'm kind of just messing around with Godot's new tile map system. Well, new-ish. It came out with 3.1. But I made an auto tile out of this patch of grass, and I want to add to it these little like linking areas here. But I don't know how I can do that. So let's just make a new auto tile entirely then. And let's do the bit mask here like we did before, and then, oh, I can't do a middle one, can I? What happens if I add that? Let's go back to this. Okay. So I think I can make it so that the bit mask is 3x3 though. So if I go, I want to do, yeah, there we go, 3x3. So, oops. There we go, and I want this to be 3x3. Bit mask. So now I have to do this, but then that allows me to go down the middle here and here. Not there. And alright, so let's go back. Oh wow, that messed everything up. Okay. Did I just make nothing work now? Yeah, I just made nothing work. Alright. Good job. Good job, Mr. Taft. Alright, so let's clear all this out. Right now I'm just kind of playing around with using a tile map. If you want to, later I can show you guys how I made that level editor for the Match 3 game using the tile map system. It's actually way easier than you'd think it is. I'll teach. Hello, Anthropomorph. Alright, so I'm gonna... this is probably super boring. This isn't very good content, but I'm gonna delete this texture again, and we're gonna add it as a new tile map again. Gosh, I'm really annoyed. This pack is really cool, but they don't have the inside corners for this grass area, which I think is a little annoying. There we go. Alright, so I can always make it myself if I just popped into Sprite, but maybe. Let's take a look at how this would work in tiled here, because I'm curious to see how this would work in tiled. So let's make a new tile set, and I'm going to call this I wouldn't be able to do this tile set stuff without a tutorial video in front of me. I watched it once but retained very little. Yeah, it's I don't know. Godot's tile set tools are way better now than they were. Pardon me. They're way better now than they were, but I don't know. There are some things that Godot does that, and I love Godot, so don't take this as me saying something bad about it. But there are some things Godot does that are just like, why would you do it that way? It doesn't make any sense. To me, anyway, but maybe that's just because, I don't know, I'm an American or something like that. I'm going to save this tile set as Godot RPG. I'm going to save it in a desktop folder, Godot RPG tile maps. All right, so now let's make a new terrain, and I'm going to call this outside ground walls. Or, yeah, that's fine. And then if I zoom in here, we're going to go here. And then let's go here for, oops. There. Now if I go back to my tile set here, my terrains, outside ground walls. See how much, like, that works the way it's supposed to, but I did the exact same sections in Godot's tile map and it didn't work. Because if I go back to Godot now and I make a new auto tile, I need these for the inside and I need these for the outside. So if I grab all of those, my subtile size is 16. I don't need my separation. I don't need navigate. I don't need any of that stuff, I don't think. Tile mode is auto tile. My bit mask is 2x2, which is fine. And then I'll do, good lord. I'll do bit mask outside. And then inside here, just like I did in tiled. And maybe it's because I expect it to work like it's tiled and it's not. Maybe that's my fault. But if I jump back here and I go to back here, we'll see it's working now. Good lord. That's very frustrating. Game Endeavor was here. He can testify to the fact it wasn't working at first. Okay. It's my first... Oh, good luck at your first day, FC Barca. I don't know how to type the fancy C. Yeah, us Americans, so much better now. Used to, I hated dealing with tiles. I know, especially if it was Unity, because Unity's tile map features were just so lacking. You'd have to place them all individually, and then you'd get the stupid lines. So this is better. This is way better. So let's make like a little area for a house to be. Okay, so we can have like a weird little player house here. Several cusses. Game Endeavor, I have no idea if that's sarcasm or not. You're telling me you have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure it is. So, yeah. Alright, so let's stay here. And let's make like a... Let's make tiles for what goes under here. So, back to this. I want a new single tile. I just want it to be that. And let's go back here. And my new single tile. Go down from there, and there, and there. And then if I go back to my tile set, I want another new single tile, which is just that. Oop, nope, wrong one. This one. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Psycho Mansaurus says, thanks for your tutorials, you're welcome. Game Endeavor winks, so I'm assuming that's a yes to the sarcasm. Alright, so back to our tile set. Let's do another single tile out of this one. See, it puts yellow around the single tiles, and it puts this kind of tealy around the auto tiles, but I wonder why I couldn't have selected it earlier, or maybe it was just, I don't know, me being me. Okay, so now ideally, I would like to be able to break this without it messing everything up here up, but I don't think I can, which is why I have the midground, because now with the midground, using the same tile set, I can go back in here and I can make like a staircase area. So I'm gonna make a new single tile staircase. If I go back here and I put it on the midground now, I think I can make this go like that. There's probably some end cap tiles, so let's see. Let's stay on the midground. If I go here, yeah, there are. So I'll make a couple new single tiles. One out of that, and one out of that. So if I go back to the area around the home on the midground, I'll make some end caps here. This feels like cheating because I'm putting it on top, but I know that if I go back to the background and erase just those two tiles, let's actually make sure. If I go back to the background and erase, yeah, totally messes it up. So we'll leave that on. Okay, we're not doing so bad now. We're not doing so bad. Okay, so anthropomorph, it's totally fine to do it that way. That's why I have the different layers, so you can have like a background, which in your background could be like all green tiles, and then your midground can be just like a path on that, and so on and so forth, so you can just keep building up. Game Endeavor says disable auto tiling, select the tiles, and it's an option up top. So select the tiles. Oh, there we go, disable auto tile. So if I disable auto tile now, let's turn off midground. Hey, look at that. All right, cool. Thanks for the tip, man. All right, so let's put these caps on where there should be so that I'm not doing this kind of hokey way of doing stuff. Or would it be better if I did, because there's like a wider staircase. Would it be better if I did that? So let's make a new single tile that's just these three. And let's see how that is. Oops. So I want to delete these. Okay. And then this. That's better. That's way better. Let's put this here. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at chat here really quickly. Single ladder, want to reopen it in Photoshop, make a right, left, and middle ladder, then have them collisions only in certain directions. RPG Maker for the win. Yeah, I mean, this tile set I'm using, I think I have a link to it in the description. It's $2.99, I think, on itch.io, and I don't know, I think it looks really good. It's better than anything I would have made, so I'm totally fine with throwing the dude who made this a couple shout-outs. I follow him on Twitter. But there is that 3 things. And yes, there is a long delay. This is how much of a noob I am to streaming. I just found out today that there's an option where you can turn down your chat delay, but you have to set it before you start streaming, and I didn't find it until I'd already started the stream, so I didn't want to restart the stream. So hopefully next time I stream it'll be better. I just said stream like a whole so many times. Stream. Okay, I'm going to, let's do another single tile for blue. And then I know that I can do like a fill if I just draw out like the area first. Let's turn auto tile back on, and then I know that there's like a paint bucket fill somewhere, isn't there? Oh, hey, I didn't realize they had these rotate tools. That's kind of cool. And they have flip tools too. That helps me so much. That's really cool. Oh well, I'll just painted it myself. Okay, that looks pretty good. Lamau. Yeah, Game Endeavor, I'm a noob. Never once have I ever in my entire life claimed to be an expert at any of this stuff. Anybody who thinks I am, you are sorely mistaken. I am sorry to tell you. I know I don't need to do this. It's just, I find it soothing with my obsessive personality. Alright, there we go. Now, let's go to the midground here and let's make a house. So, in the tile set, I'm going to go super simple with this house, and I'm just going to use one of the pre-made structures. Yeah, it's probably fine if I just do this as a new single tile and grab all of that. Yep, I'm on the midground. Oh, the midground is invisible, that's why. Hey, come on. There we go, that's better. No, let's do it like here. Now there's that weird thingy thing between the house and the background, so let's go and make our area around the house look better. Let's do it as a single tile here. Yeah, that matches it. There probably isn't an inside corner, so I'm probably making some problems for myself here in just a moment, but for now, I'm okay with doing it this way. So let's go back to our tile set. So I want... Actually, let's do this instead. I haven't looked at chat in a minute, so give me a second and I'll check it out. It's too much clumped. That looks a little bit better. And now if I put... That's not too bad, right? Let's take a look and see what chat has to say. Switch off of the visibility of the foreground really quick and fix the background. So I can fix it here instead of having all that on the midground. I don't know why I did all that on the midground. I can fix it here on the background by doing what Game Endeavor suggested and disabling auto tile. And then I can use this to fill these in properly. And then that way on my midground I can have just the house. That makes way more sense. This is why this isn't an actual tutorial video. This is just me learning how to do stuff. Like a noob. Alright, cool. Now if I go to the midground, let's erase this stuff so that it's just the house on the midground layer like it should be. There we go, that's better. Can you right click to eyedropper a different texture from existing ones? So do you mean if I right click one of these tiles? Or do you mean in here? Yeah, right clicking doesn't seem to do anything in here. That's how I choose different tiles. Good lord. That makes so much more sense now. All right. Okay, Anthropomorph says at background, no, your 4 in mid is lower on the left than the right. Oh hey, you're right. If you right click, could you pick up the orange instead of the yellow ground? Nope, right click deletes. Is that how it works in... Yeah, I didn't know those arrows existed either, Game Endeavor. I kept saying there has to be a way that you can select already selected tiles because they even have these special, like, yellow for single tile, blue for auto tile. So... that makes everything so much easier. Okay, so now... Nope. I want to do collision. Do I have to reselect the whole thing, or... This is a weird way to have to do collision. Because, like, I click the tile, and then I click the shape, and then I click the tile. Click the tile. Shape. Tile. It seems there has to be an easier way. This has to be a me thing again. Collision. Meh. Collision. Meh. Collision. Meh. Collision. Meh. And then I want to do those single tiles. So if I go back... Okay, hold on. If I just go all the way back here, back into the tile set, I want to choose the end caps. There we go. So the end caps are going to get collision as well. Region instead of collision. Collision. Meh. Meh. Okay. I think there's a... Okay, Game Endeavor says, I think there's a keyboard shortcut for eyedropping tiles, but those keybinds never work for me. You think doing collision like that is bad? Last night I had to do polygon collision on tiles that were required. Yeah, no, I know it's not too bad. I was playing around with one that had curved edges before, and like doing that polygon every time is not good. Not having tiles with clear backgrounds is wonky. I want to tear the sheet apart and fix it so you can have all background stuff on it. Yeah, Anthropomorph, I agree. I was talking about whether or not I wanted to open this up in Aseprite and change stuff or move stuff around or group stuff better. Alright, so I did all that collision for a reason. I want to test something out here. Let's add our player to the scene. And let's bring you here. I want to see if the collision is going to work the way I expect it to. Okay, that's something. So here's another issue I've had before. Those lines that appear, that happens in Unity all the time, and I've had it happen here, but I thought that was something that was supposed to be gone with 3.1. So clearly it's not, so I'm going to need to look at how to fix that. Alright, let's also go into our player scene, really, or player UI, and let's make sure that that's invisible by default. There we go, that's better. Now I'm gonna need to have collision on the edges here, which means there should be a special tile for that, hopefully. So if I go back in here, is there a special tile? Oh, is it this one? I'm gonna pretend it's these here and here, and that I was supposed to have those around the thingy thing. So I want region. Cool. So let's go into here. Let's do collision square there. There. Tile square. Meh. Okay, so if I go back in here on my background layer, turn off auto tile, and then, but now that part right there with the cap looks weird. But that looks better, doesn't it? All right, Kelly, totally get it. So if you want to bail out, that's totally fine. There's going to be more Unity stuff very, very soon. So totally fine if you don't want to try and learn a second platform when you're struggling to learn the first one, or when you're just learning the first one. That's totally fine. Yeah, I disabled the filters. And I've gotten, so the only time I've had these lines before is when I was working on my school laptops with my students. So is there something in project settings? Quality. Is there... MSAA is disabled. I have no idea if 4 is a good level or not for pixel art. I don't need to worry about shadow atlases or shadows. Or shading, depth repass, subsurface scattering. None of this should have anything to do with us. Default color. Yeah, none of this should have anything to do with 2D. This can't be... Okay. Is it VSync that's doing it? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's not VSync that's doing it. Because it's not vertical. Per pixel transparency. Okay, I know this is boring, just watching me reading menus. So I'm going to finish this soon. Pixel Snap. Where is Pixel Snap? Was Pixel Snap in the quality? Then I just missed it. The cap should have an auto corner. I agree with you. I don't know why the cap wouldn't have an auto corner, because it looks way better like this than it did with the stairs just in nowhere. Where else would it be? Would it be part of the tile? No, I don't think it would anyway. Would it be part of the import settings? Detect 3D, stream, size limit, mode, lossless, normal map. Repeat, filter, mipmaps, anisotropic, SVG. Oh, you can use SVGs with Godot. That's neat. Alpha. Rendering quality, I missed it. Thank you, Game Endeavor. Okay. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Good lord. I saw the GLES 2 and immediately thought that it had nothing to do with the GLES 3 render. Alright, cool. Thank you very much, man. Or woman? Person? Human being? Alright, cool. That's way better. Thank you. So now we can actually move on to doing other things. So I want to go back here to my midground. I want to add some new single tile out of that. And then what are you doing? Why are you what? Okay, that was weird. Here. Should I have like an even further background? Maybe. Let's duplicate our foreground since that's the one that doesn't have any weird things changing to it. And I'm gonna call this like super background. I might want this to be like a parallax background later, but for now we're gonna do this. We're gonna load our tile set from areas, and we're gonna do, I'm sure somebody in chat has already made a comment about this, so give me a second and I'll look. Oh, but because I already, Mr. Taft. There we go. So that's better. And then I want to make a single tile. I guess I could have just done, good lord, I could have just done the whole thing. And then that way, sometimes I'm just not thinking straight. So we'll do something like that. And then on the actual background, nope, that's not the part I wanted to delete. And then the blues don't match. Of course they don't. Sometimes I'll do something not very smart, and then it'll take me like a minute to catch on to the fact that it was not very smart. Okay, let's just, yeah. So here's what I think it's supposed to happen. I think you're supposed to have that dark blue because it's part of the actual here. It's part of this one. And then you're supposed to have it go to these cloudy backgrounds. So I'm going to put the cloudy backgrounds up here, and then maybe there's like a dark blue to white tile. And if there's not, I'm just going to move on and start dealing with something else. Okay, so if I go to my tile set, okay, so there's these tiles. These are probably meant to be like dark blue to white. And then in here, come here. Oh, see, that looks so much better now. Okay. All right, and now if I turn this back on, I can get rid of this whole section here. Oh, that already looks so much better. And then I'm sure it's going to bother some people if I don't do this right now. So I'm going to do it right now. Okay, cool. So we're getting some Wind Waker vibes here, which, depending on how you feel about Wind Waker, can be good or bad. And let's do there. All right, how does that look in practice? That's not too bad. Alright, cool. Let's take a look at chat. I'm sure there's some people yelling at me for some of the weird things I just did. Okay, so I'm getting a very Pokemon vibe. Okay, holy cow, there's a lot of chats I missed. However, it seems to only be happening on the blue tiles. Yeah, but, I mean, Pixel Snap fixed it. Haraton Sun. Nice to see you too. Michael Benny, I just started playing with the Pixel Perfect camera in Unity. I could not find an equivalent for Godot. There were some articles about adding a script to the camera and rounding floats to integers. Yeah, so you would need to make sure that the camera is only moving on 1 pixel unit, which in Godot, I don't think you actually need to round floats to integers. You would just need to make sure that it's, every time it changes, it's only changing by an entire pixel. So I don't think you would need to float, or to round that. Game Dever Angry Bear. I know the idea was Earthbound, but I'm getting a Pokemon vibe. Yeah. I mean, it's, Earthbound has, first of all, Earthbound has 8 directional movement, so it's, I can see where you're getting a Pokemon vibe. And his shoes are the same color as the ground. That's weird. Indie Dev says, from India watching stream at night. Well, good to see you. And yes, I call myself Mr. Taft sometimes. And yes, the ocean could be animated. That would be very cool. I suppose you could animate like maybe just these tiles or something like that. Or make other layers of, I don't know. This is not what we're here for right now. So let's make some limits to the player camera. So in the area around home, let's make a quick change to the player script to make it so that we can limit the camera easily. So this is going to be more of a player controller. Let's make a reference to player cam is the camera 2D. And then in ready, we're gonna use a function to set the camera limits. So we're gonna do function set camera limits. And I forgot what the variables for camera limits are called. In camera 2D there, limit. So we got left. Okay. So it's left, top, it's limit left, limit top, limit right, limit bottom. Maybe if you turn on the smoothing, that might make it so it only is moving on 1 pixel intervals. I don't know. Anyway, so let's make some export variables. We'll call this set the left limit to -100 by default. We'll set the right limit to 300 by default. We'll set the top limit to -100 by default. And the bottom limit to, we'll go 400 by default. I'm just picking these numbers out of thin air, which is why I'm making them exports so I can easily change them. And then when we do set camera limits, we're gonna do player cam dot limit left is equal to left limit. Limit right is equal to right limit. Limit top. Top limit. Player cam dot limit bottom. Bottom limit. Okay. Anthropomorph war on floats. I've not seen the colon equals thing before. Alright, so anthropomorph, the colon equals is here. It doesn't need to be here. I could very easily have just done temp movement equal to vector 2.0. The colon equals is here to type GD script, and by typing GD script, it is more efficient. So in the future, when I start new series, I'm going to be using typed GD script instead of just plain old GD script, but you don't need to do it this way. I could have done export and then in parentheses int and then var limit left equal to -100. But by doing the colon equals, okay, the way GD script works, this is how I usually describe it. When you create a variable, you're creating an empty container for something to go in. GD script doesn't know immediately what size that container should be until you tell it what size it should be. So when you make a variable to go in the container, then GD script changes the container to fit that variable. By typing it, you're telling it what shape container to make at first, so it doesn't have to decide what container it should be later on, if that analogy makes any sense. Oh, okay. I started to watch the Angry Bear video on fixing camera recentering. Okay. So anyway, and then in ready we'll do set camera limits. So then in our scene here, area around home, is that 2 tiles? 3. So we'll make the left limit -48, and I'll make the right limit, I don't know, we'll go 128. Top limit I'm going to set to be 0. I'm not sure if this is how the camera 2D works, because I might need to take the offset into account, but I think I don't. And we'll make the bottom limit 400 just to see how it works. Let's see, play. Alright, cool, that is how it works. Nice. That one little change makes this look so much better. That's crazy. Alright, so I forgot how big I have my window set to be. 270. So we'll make the bottom limit 290. I'm just guessing here. There's not really any room for the camera to move around in here, so let's make the camera a little bit smaller so that it doesn't quite look. So let's make our zoom level. Let's even go a little bit smaller. And then one of the ways that we can add screen shake is by adding a camera kick that you can actually do without animating anything. We can just use okay. So save all scenes. Oh, no, didn't mean this one. Alright, there we go. So we got some camera movement here. The ocean should probably be lower, or at least the horizon should be lower. The horizon should probably be like here, and then light blue above it. That would look even better. Alright, that's pretty good though. I'm liking this so far. Alright, so here's our first area. Yeah, that's good. Let's make a new scene, and we'll call this, it's a 2D scene, we're going to call this town. Oh, anthropomorph, did that work? Resetting the scroll box? I hoped it would work, but I'm always kind of amazed when things that I do work how I think they should. Yeah, I want this at a different tile set. So we're gonna, I could make this just inherit from, so like I could make a base scene class, and I could make it so that area and town both inherit from that base class, but I want to use slightly different tile sets with them. But I could still... I don't know. I'm okay with this. Background. Let's actually, before I duplicate that, let's set this to have 16 by 16 cells. Cool. And I haven't done anything with the 2D physics yet, but we're going to call this midground. And we're going to call this foreground. All right. Actually, before I go too far, I keep changing my mind. I'm going to call this, we'll call it not scene, but place. Generic place. And then we'll save this as its own scene. We'll save it there. And now we'll make a new inherited scene from that. See, I say I'm not going to do stuff, and then I end up doing it anyway. We'll call this town. And save scene, save. All right. So let's start messing around with our tile set here. So we're going to make a new tile set, even though it's going to be based on the same image, because I just want to keep the tiles kind of separate. So we're going to add this. And I want this to be like in town. So let's make a new auto tile. And let's go with the sidewalk here first. So see, the sidewalk is neatly grouped. Look at that. And let's do fit mask. All right, and then if we go back to town, let's do some sidewalk here. So let's actually, so he's gonna come in from his house, and like this is like the little town. So we're gonna make this set up so that we've got, let's make like city blocks here, and then we can put the buildings on the blocks. If that makes any sense. Okay. Except this should be on the midground and not the background. The background should be like just street. Anthropomorph, I 100% should do that. I 100% should start with a piece of graph paper and draw everything out. So nice wide streets, but the city blocks don't all have to be the same size. So we'll do and then let's do another one down here. I wonder if you hold shift, if it'll let you draw a straight line. It does. Okay, that's good. That's helpful. Now, since I have both an inside and an outside, let's make a weirdly shaped block too. So we'll do something that goes like to there. Down a little bit, over, down. And then maybe there's like a, I don't know, like a little town square over here to the right. I'm sure there's an easier way to fill this in other than drawing over every single part, but I don't know what it is, and I'm finding this kind of relaxing. Alright, that's not too bad so far. Okay, let's check out chat here really fast. We're on chat delay, I know. Shift plus Alt, drag to make a rectangle of tiles. Thank you very, very much, Game Endeavor. So, maybe my keyboard's set up weird. Maybe it's, yeah. For me, it's Shift and Control. Nice. This is way, way better. Okay, let's do almost a mirror on the other side. Oops. There we go. That's not too bad. It's Shift Control for me. I'm working on my PC right now, actually. My Mac is my laptop. I did so much work on it because during my prep period, if I finished all my work, I would get to make a video. Mr. Monkfish, hello. Alright, and then let's make one more quick block here. Just like that. Okay, cool. So now let's go to our tile set. Let's get just like a square of asphalt. So let's just do that one. Let's go back to the town, and then with our newly found ability to draw rectangles, we'll draw in some blacktop. I know there's a way that you can make it so that it does randomness inside the tiles, or even just a weighted randomness. I would just need to do a little bit of research to remind myself how to do that. Okay, I'm getting kind of entranced by this. This is fun. When I've taught my students how to make top-down games before, whenever we get to the part where they get to use tile maps, they always get kind of like, I have to give them a time limit on it. Otherwise, I have some students that will spend like a week making tile maps. It's not your bad, Anthropomorph. It's fine. I have nothing against Mac or PC. I like them both. Alright, so let's go to our tile set here. See, this is the reason I liked this tile set. Usually I would just be using the Kenny one, but I kind of liked how this has like all of these street things in it. So let's do a new single tile for that. That's weird. Oh, is it because I have auto tile on? Oh, that looks fine. Oops. There we go. anthropomorphed to YouTube. I don't think you can get at YouTube just by. It's not, YouTube isn't Santa. Game Endeavor says I think it's the priority setting to do randomness, but from my experience it can be wonky. Yeah, honestly this is the most I've experimented with Godot's newer tile map settings since 3.1. Oops. So this is kind of fun for me. Alright, so let's do some... Let's do another single tile. Let's do this. Sorry, I stopped talking. I find this really fun. Alright, cool. Okay, let's jump to our middle ground here. Well, before we do that, let's save our asset. We're gonna call this town. And then that way we can apply it to the midground as well. Cool. Alright, so now in here, so the park doesn't have any inside tiles, they only have the outside tiles. So we can't, if we use auto tile on that, we gotta be a little careful. But like, look at all these cool little things. Like stop signs and stuff. That's awesome. Let's do, I think that's a door. You got some buildings. We got some railings. I wonder, oh okay, that's what that's supposed to be. Let's do a new auto tile from the park. And bitmask. Alright. So let's go back in here. And let's make a nice park, kind of like in the middle here. Oops. I just learned how to do that and I already forgot to use it. That looks nice. I like the contrast of that green against the purpley asphalt. Let's make another little park over here. And let's make like almost like a boulevard here. And for randomness, another one up here. That's fun. So long as I'm having fun. Yeah, that's all that matters, I guess. Mr. Monkfish says, I don't know whether I should use tile sets for my project. I might have separate instances of terrain elements with collision shape. Not decided on the best approach. If you're using, well, Unity can do it too, but if you're using Godot, when you're making a tile, so like if I go to the town here, and if I look at one of the tiles I already made, come on, hey. Okay, there we go. It wasn't letting me zoom around. So like on this individual tile, I can add a collision shape to it. I can do some stuff so that it may or may not work with the 2D lighting system. I can add navigation elements to it. So there's a lot that you can do on a per tile basis using Godot's tile map system. It's way better than it used to be. It used to be that you had to make individual objects and then add things to the objects and then save the whole scene as a resource file. Like it used to be just a pain in the butt. So it's not that bad. Unity has a similar system now too, but you need to get the 2D extras for it to work the way you want it to. All right, let's try making a building here. Yeah, I want this to be in the midground. So let's make a region map. Okay, let's do dark red brick. I want to grab. Let's do this as a single tile. Does that look how I think it does? Yeah. Let's go back to our midground. So we'll do this as like a building that's a little bit recessed from the street. And then right next to it we'll have this little like pillar. I want that to go up higher. So if I go to the tile set, can I do? And then let's redo that pillar so that we have the top away from the bottom. Or actually, let's just do this as a new single tile. And then back here. That doesn't look good. Is that how? Oh, because it's got the. I see. Let's kind of sketch out the sides of the building first. There is a importer for tiled maps. In fact, I was so sure that I was going to end up using tiled this video. Not only did I have tiled up, but I have I have a GitHub plugin already keyed in that I was thinking about downloading, and then I have something from the Godot asset library, but this is for Godot 3, like you said. So I don't know if it'll work for 3.1, but I was certain I wasn't going to like/understand Godot's native tile map settings, but they're not as bad as I thought they were. What happens if I do? Yeah, I don't like that. Let's go back in here. So let's grab a door. Back to the midground. Let's put a door. Let's make this kind of like recessed, like there. And then let's grab as a new tile this. Did I not grab that? Yeah. Oh, there it is. So we'll do like this, and then we'll have like a window. That doesn't look right. Back to wanting to tear your tile sheet apart so it works. Understandable. Matthews, unfortunately, my answer to that is not very satisfying. So, Unity's great. Unity's an amazing engine that is very usable with a ridiculous amount of resources out there. However, Unity is very rickety the way it is right now. They haven't rebuilt their core engine in about 10 years, I think. So they just keep adding stuff on top of it. So it feels very, very much like they just keep slapping stuff on something that needs to be rebuilt from the bottom. But anything you'd want to do with Unity, you can do it. Godot is, in my experience with it so far, powerful and relatively easy to use, especially for newcomers. However, being that Godot is just recently starting to be picked up by people who do things like this, there's not a ton of resources out there for it. So, I mean, even though it's easy to use for newcomers, it can be more difficult to use compared to something like Unity because there's not as much, as many resources out there for it. So, so Matthews Moda asks, isn't that supposed to change with dots? Dots is Unity's new big push towards away from object-oriented programming and towards data-oriented programming. So with that push, Unity is remaking their engine to be much more powerful. That is 100% true. But even their own material has almost nothing with how to work with dots, let alone how to work with TypeScript. So yes, it's supposed to be better, but better at the cost of losing all of the resources that people have made for Unity. Because I mean, like, if you watch a C# tutorial, that's not going to work with dots. And eventually they're going to make it use not TypeScript but C#. But even then, the entire, like, the whole way that you think about programming in C# is going to be different versus in dots, if that makes any sense. So my answer to your question is the one that is the best one between Unity and Godot is whichever one you feel like you can make something good in. And if you feel like you can make something good in Game Maker Studio, that's awesome. If you feel like you can make something good in RPG Maker MV, that's awesome. Those engines aren't any worse necessarily than Unity. They're only being held back by what their creator can do. And if the creator can do good stuff with them, then they're good. I played games that were made in RPG Maker MV that were fantastic. And I've played bad games. I played good games made with Unity, and I played bad games made with Unity. Well, you can access dots in their preview packages, and even with the preview packages, there's not very many resources out there. N3K is doing videos about it, but his videos aren't as in depth as his previous material. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Okay, so back to what I was doing here. I think I grabbed the wrong door. So this is something that definitely feels like it would work better. This part of it would work better in tiled. I'm 100% certain. And what you could do is you could just make the tiled map and import it as a PNG and then hand draw your collisions on it. See, this window has a shadow and it shouldn't. Oh, there's the one without the shadow. So let's grab this as a single tile. Does that have a weird seam, or is it? Yeah, no, it's just me. And it's not enough space. Let's get rid of that. That's not too bad. Sorry, I stopped talking because I was thinking. So I guess the best way to do this would be for me to make each of those window slices its own tile. I know this is riveting YouTube right here. This is going to bring all the subscribers to the channel. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. That. And that. Overlap the tiles, that's one way to do it. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back into our midground here. I just want to delete all of this. And then... Alright, so we'll do here. And then... here. Then there and there. Okay. This is getting better now. And then let's do this right there. And then we'll do oh, wrong door again. So we'll do this door. And then we'll do a nope, wrong one. Well, no, I guess that was fine. We'll put that there, and sorry, like I said, I know this is probably super boring YouTube content. Experience. Alright, there we go. It's a weird scene between those two, I think. Unless I'm just out of my mind, which is incredibly possible. There we go. What is this, a door for ants? Game endeavor, that's why I couldn't stream. I'd zone out for half an hour, completely forgetting what I was streaming. Yeah, I mean, this isn't the most interesting thing for me to be streaming, but if I'm going to make a video about actually using this, then I'd better know what I'm doing. And I think it's fun to just mess with it. Alright, so we need a roof. The roof can't just be this again, can it? I wonder what the author used. Canary itch.io. So this is the author of the tile set, 8-bit Canary. Okay, so they used that weird outside rim. Okay. Let's try doing that then. This rim here. I wonder, let's do this as an auto tile to continue working with auto tiles. No, I don't want that region. I want this one. And then we'll do the bit mask around here, but then for the inside, we'll do this. Let's see if it'll work like that. Yep, I just picked the wrong tile. Can I give that tile a name so that it's just easier for me to actually find it? Can I give this tile a name? Okay, I can give it a script. Ah, I can give it a name. Haha. There we go. Okay, cool. I was way too happy about that. There we go. All right, how does that look? I don't know, it has visuals that's more captivating than you'd think. Probably true. Yeah, Game Endeavor says it's probably more engaging than coding. You're probably right. Matthew's Modi did not make these assets. They're purchasable. 8-bit Canari on itch.io is where I got them. I think they were like $3. Kenny has a RPG Urban pack that's really similar to it, and that would probably work just fine for everything we're doing. And his, to be completely honest, are probably laid out a bit better. Which version of your Godot? Nope. Todd Gibson asks, which version of Godot am I using? This is 3.1. The right side of the first two windows is not correct. So this one. Okay. So let's fix the right side of the first two windows. So if you're anything like me, it's going to bug you. So I will fix it. There we go. And then this should be there too. There. It was a lot of time I spent just to make one little teeny tiny building in my little town I'm trying to lay out here. Whisper, whisper. Am I whispering? I don't mean to whisper. This isn't an ASMR stream. Okay. Now I want to shift everything down because there's too much empty concrete between that and the little boulevard, but I'm not going to do that. All right. Let's mess around with some stuff. Let's go to the foreground, the tile set. Let's load the tile set that we're using. Town. And let's add some fun stuff here. So we'll do new single tile. This really should have transparency around it. Do new single tiles for the stop signs. Are they angled like that to show that it's pointing in? Yeah, they are. Huh. I think these are windows for like a storefront. Okay, let's get back in here. Let's put some trees down. See, because if this were transparent, I could put a tree right there and it would look fine. So I really should bring this into, like, ask the author if I can bring this into Asebrite and make some changes so that I'm not changing something that I don't actually own. That's bad. That's not too bad. And let's put... You can never have too many parks in a city. Ah, that's too close. There we go. Oh, whispering about Kenny's tileset being better laid out. Well, I mean, he's only made like, I don't know, 70,000 assets or something like that. Dude's got some practice. Yeah, same with the house and the tree. I agree. Because earlier, like here, I could have moved that house up so that like it could look like the house had like an overview of the sea or something. Alright, so I'm gonna add just some more details here. And see, like, I could put this little dude here if it were transparent around it. But as it is, I either... Like, I have to put that stop sign so far in. Okay, this is where it should be, and I gotta put it there. Let's do... here. Oh wait, is that the... Yeah, I'm just gonna have stops that direction. Nobody going this way has to stop. They don't have to stop at all. So we'll do... here? Does that make sense to have a stop sign there? I laid this out super weird. I'm the one who did it. I got nobody else to blame. Lolo says, I think you should use stairs home. What do you mean by that? Yeah, no, it's super... Oh. Thank you. Should go that way. And this should go... Oh, no. That way. Well, except I'm not in England. So, I'm going to put this one there. And I'm going to put this one here. And then I'm going to go back down to the background. And... Oop, nope. That's not what I meant to do. Mid-ground. There we go. Cut that boulevard short. And then this one's okay. This one's okay. This one's okay. Alright, cool. Anybody who drives in... Yep, only two-way stops. If you're going this way, you can just go as far as you want. If I were thinking, I would have made these streets a little bit wider, and then I could put down, like, little lines, but that's okay for now. Alright, let's see if I can make a second building faster than I made the first building. Let's go. Let's start with a door in a reasonable location. We'll put it there. Let's have a blank spot on either side. Let's do... Nope, I want more windows than that. So let's do... this one here. And then we'll do mirror, mirror. Now we'll go even more. Mirror. And then here. And then we'll cap it off with one of the cappy thingies. That's a technical term. Cappy thingy goes there. And then in the other direction, we'll do and here. And then we'll cap this off by another cappy thingy, technical term. TMCR. Good tiling speedrun practice. I would love to see a tiling speedrun. I mean, I know there are people who do like those time-lapse videos of them making stuff. Oh, what am I doing? I can just do this now. Okay, second building definitely looks better than the first, but I don't like that surface, so I'm going to disable auto tile, and I want to give it a different surface. So let's go back to our tile set here, and let's just do this. So back to the foreground, and I want just this. Ooh, no, hey, come on now. That's not too bad. This is starting to look pretty good. I like the way this turned out. This all needs to be moved down a bit so that the horizon is like right there. And then I like the way the town's turning out, even if I am fighting with the tile set a bit. I'll DM the author on Twitter and ask if it's alright with him if I make some transparencies. Alright, let's see, what else do I want to do before I go? Oh, okay. So, one of the things that is on my list of stuff to do a tutorial on for the Godot Match 3 is how to make a level editor. And the way that I can do that, so I'm abruptly shifting gears. We're going to look at the Match 3 project for a second here. So I'm going to save all my scenes. Let's go back to the project list. We're abruptly switching gears here. Bear with me. So, if we make... Even if the doors are meant for ants and two-way stops, yep. Alright, so in here, if we go to our... Actually, let's make it a child of the grid. And this is going to be a tile map. And then the tile map is going to be square. Cells should be 64 by 64, that's good. Let's make a tile set. Now, in our tile set here, I'm going to add from art. And then this is going to be a new single tile. And I want this to be... Yeah, that's fine. I forgot that these assets are 128 by 128, but it's fine like this. So I'm only going to use the ice as an example here. Okay, sorry, I was reading chat there for a second. So I'm going to use this, I'm just going to use the ice as an example of how you can do this. So if I go back to my tile map here, I'm going to rename this to obstacle layout. Now, back in here, gosh, I only really want just part of that, so let's change our tile map really quickly. Let's just do that one section there. So if I'm looking at this, let's say I want ice to be like in just the corners here. So what I can do is lay these out here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see as I'm mousing over, there's a coordinate for it. Well, we already have a system in this Match 3 tutorial for how to translate coordinates into grid positions. So what you can do is, in the grid script here, I'm going to make a really quick change. And let's make a reference to that. So we'll call this level editor, and onReadyVar level layout is equal to $ obstacle layout. And then before you actually, let's do it where we spawn ice. Sorry for the abrupt shift from top-down RPG to this. So I want to look at spawn ice. Alright, so if iSpaces is not null, what we can do instead of this, so let's comment all of this out, is we can say, let's call it var temp is equal to level layout dot, and I want to get the actual 2D grid from here, which is actually, I'm gonna have to remind myself how to do this. So let's do var temp is equal to there's a way that you can get just the specific coordinate in a tile. And I thought I knew this off the top of my head, but apparently I don't. So that's just the thingy thing. That's a technical term there, thingy thing. So I want to do Godot tile map coordinates. So in the tile map node, let's go to the 3.1 documentation. Get cell. There we go. Get cell. And so there's get use cell and there's get cell. And then you can use this to set cell. So what you want to do here is you want to say for I in width, j in height, ice spaces, ij is equal to level layout dot get cell ij. So we want to say if, alright, hey, I'm gonna have to come back to this. I thought I knew how to do it off the top of my head, but I don't. Let's look at chat really quickly before we go. Anthropomorph, the layout is wrong again, scene tree on the right. Okay, I'll change it. It's been like this for the last like 3 videos, so I'll have to change it. Or probably more than that, probably since I switched to Godot 3.1. Okay, I'm going to stop this because this is better if I just like actually explain it. So this is gonna have to wait for when I can explain it better. So I'm just gonna change that back to how it was, and I'm gonna delete the obstacle layout and delete the onReady reference to it. So I'll come back to this later. There we go. Let's save that. Okay, so looking back at our little RPG project over here, really all I did today was play with the tile map, which was fun for me. I don't know how much fun it was for you guys. The other thing I did aside from play with the tile map is I set the player character defaults, or camera defaults. So if we go to area around house here, I set it so that the camera doesn't go outside of the scene, but it still follows the player around, even if we do have some weirdness going on here. It looks way better with that curving around it, And then we started to set up a town that inherits from a generic place. And that was a lot of messing around with stuff. Alexi, I absolutely am going to make a tutorial on that. Right now I'm just like, so it takes a lot of work to make a tutorial, so like I have to practice all this stuff on my own anyway and make notes for myself. So this last week's stream and today's stream is about me going through doing it like raw without any practice first, and then when I make the tutorial I will have had practice, so it'll work better, and that way I can make it better structured and just better overall. So yes, I will. Okay, so I'm gonna close down the chat in the stream in about 5 minutes. So are there any last minute questions anybody has for me? Let's just see what our player looks like in here while I'm waiting for chat delay to catch up with people. Let's put our top limit at 0. 270. They're not all good ones, Game Endeavor. I wouldn't be in the refactoring nightmare right now if I made fewer tutorials a week. Alright, so let's have him obey the laws and just stay on the street or the sidewalk. Let's not have him walk everywhere. Yes, otherwise, I don't know. The videos where I have a definite plan and I know 100% what I'm doing definitely come out better than the ones where I start with just an idea of what I'm doing and no notes, and I just wing it. I always end up having to refactor those. So, I'm going to put this little duder in a good spot for me to take a screenshot to make the, so we'll close up there, and this will be the screenshot for this stream. Let's even take that screenshot now. Let's grab this. Let's not get that. Cool. No, I do not want to save it. Yes, because you were quoting. I know you meant mine. Oh, mine, not task. Oh, I see. Here's how I did this video. The videos I've seen of yours are pretty good, Anthropomorph. Okay, guys. I am going to go take off and eat some lunch, and then I'm going to make a Godot tutorial video or two for today, and I have some projects I need to go over, including Anthropomorphs. So yeah, thanks very much for joining me for the stream. I'm really looking forward to starting this Godot RPG series. I think it'll be good, and I learned a lot today. I hope you guys did too. So yeah, switch over to the ending soon, but the microphone should still be going. Thanks for stopping by, Game Endeavor. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.